25F, found out my boyfriend, 26M, has been talking to a girl closely for roughly a year. I just found out my boyfriend has been talking to a girl intimately for roughly a year, yet not sure if it can count as cheating. I never looked at his phone since we started the relationship, and we have been dating for almost 6 years in a mid-distance relationship, about a 1.5-hour drive. However, a girl texted him at 1:30 a.m. last night when we were lying on the bed looking at some goofy stuff on his phone. She texted him, "I learned a new word in Cantonese today." I found that fishy, so when I wanted to go through the messages, he quickly grabbed his phone and said there was nothing to see and told me I shouldn't be worried because she's married. I insisted on checking the messages, so he handed me his phone eventually. I saw they have been talking to each other since last November. Everything was mutual initially, but things started to get intimate as time passed. He sent her pictures to her throughout a trip he went on with his friends, while at that time, I got 0 pictures from him. I had to look at his Instagram to see what he did with his friends. The girl went on a trip to Seattle and got him a souvenir, asking him multiple times to go to her house to pick it up. From the messages, it seems like he never got the souvenir, so I guess they don't have any intimate physical contact at this point. But then I saw him compliment the girl, cute, smart, and pretty. Asked the girl to eat more because she's skinny while I gained weight and am now chubby due to my medical condition. The girl also asked him to share beautiful landscape pictures with her if he happened to see any. So they sort of exchanged some pictures. He also offered to bring the girl some food when she was ill. At the same time, he offered nothing when I was sick besides saying, "Oh, I hope you feel better soon." Their messages are nothing lusty but seem flirty from my perspective. I asked him why he would talk to the girl, and he said he used her to kill time and change the atmosphere of his mind when the tension between us was high. So now I am awfully confused about whether I should count this as cheating or not. Should I give him a chance since they haven't gone to the physical stage? He offered to pay for my bills, added me as the authorized user to his credit card, and put me as the beneficiary on his life insurance. From these actions, he seems to be serious about the relationship, but what he did with the girl confused me a lot. They even use a separate app, Telegram, to talk to each other. She's the only person that he talks to on Telegram, while we and his other friends normally use WhatsApp to talk to each other. Update. Just caught him using Telegram 2 hours ago, the 10th of August 2023 5:10 p.m. And he claimed it was because some people sent him scamming Bitcoin info so he logged in to delete it. Can anyone tell me if this is true or not? I don't use Telegram so I don't know if it's true, please help. Can someone please give me some advice? Thank you in advance. And #X200B. You might be the one in his bed, but she is the one in his heart and on his mind. He was sending her pics on vacation, not you. He offered to take care of her when she was sick, not you. He is choosing to risk your relationship to communicate with her. He wouldn't have grabbed his phone and minimized the contact if he didn't already know what he was doing was wrong. You will never know if they are continuing their relationship and, if they are, he will just get better at hiding it. He has proven where his true concern lies. Do you want to stay and hope he can feel about you the way he already does her? Or, do you find someone who will want to send pics to you and take care of you when you're sick? If he has nothing to hide, he wouldn't have grabbed the phone and said, "There's nothing to see." The fact that he tried to justify it so quickly meant he knew it was wrong and you'd not be happy. I'd consider this a form of emotional cheating because they've gone beyond normal friends. Even if there's no, "I love you," there's a level of intimacy present. It's emotional cheating. He knew you wouldn't be cool with it, like the attention, even said it was when you two were having a hard time. He can't escape to another woman when you have a hard time. It's called emotional cheating. Telegram is famous for married people to use when having affairs. So if she suggested it. Girlfriend, 24 female, annoyed when I, 27 male, refused to cook the meal she requested. I have been with my partner for 3 years and we live together. Initially we both cooked together, but then my partner's work schedule changed so she got back in later, so I cooked every day during the week since I work from home. 4 weeks ago my partner's work schedule has gone back to normal and she said cooking would be a shared responsibility again, but she still hasn't actually helped with the cooking yet. She's been ill for the last week and a half and has barely left her bed, so I have again been cooking along with doing the dishes and getting her things she needs. On top of that, work has been stressful, so I'm getting pretty burnt out. I told her 2 days ago that I'm going to be making easier meals and just putting things into the oven instead of standing and preparing meals since I'm getting exhausted. She agreed and was fine with this. There was one meal we planned to do at the start of the week that we didn't do since it is a lot of work and we usually help each other with it. I told my girlfriend I wouldn't be cooking that since it's too much work and she was fine with it. Today I tell her what I'm going to do for dinner and she disagreed and asks for the other meal. I tell her that I'm not doing that since I'm too tired and she starts going on about how some of the ingredients need using up today, but I just repeat that I'm not doing it. She doesn't let it go, so I just tell her if she wants it that badly to do it herself since I'm not her personal chef. I tell her that I'll be doing the meal I suggested and if she wants anything else then she's more than welcome to cook it. She said I was being unfair towards her and that I shouldn't be having a go at her for not wanting to waste food and have a certain meal. How would you handle this? Too long did not read. I have been the only person cooking for a while now and my partner is now ill, so I've been getting exhausted running around after my partner, working and cooking. My partner requested a meal that I had already told her is too much work and then got annoyed when I refused to cook it. How would you handle this? I think you did well by telling her to cook it herself if she wants it that bad. I think maybe you should reiterate to her that your schedule is busy as well and you'd like to lessen your burden by not cooking so much by yourself. Invite her to cook with you again or cook the meal she wants herself or order sometime online, but respect how you feel at the moment and not make you feel bad for looking out for yourself and her at the same time. You want this meal more than I do, so I'll be happy to be your sous chef as soon as you're able to be the head chef on this meal. I'm burnt out just reading about this petty BS. She can make herself a freaking sandwich. Had to check the age, she sounds like a toddler. She's an adult. If she wants a specific meal she can go cook it. I'd hammer out a cooking schedule and meal plan, a week at a time. If that doesn't help, just start eating sandwiches for dinner for a while. Husband, 31 male, angry that I, 29 female, Daenerys Targaryened him, during a bad storm. This being the "Where are my dragons?" quite by him. It's just what my brother is calling it. Context. My husband is not a cat person. He never has been, though he is very much a dog person. We have one of each. My cat Lou and his dog. A couple weeks ago, there was a bad storm with a tornado warning. We have multiple massive trees surrounding our house to make this all the more dangerous. My husband called me downstairs when he got the tornado warning notif. On his phone, grabbed his dog and went down to the basement. During this time I asked him multiple times if he's seen my cat, and he said, "She's downstairs, I saw her downstairs, she's under the couch downstairs." So I followed him down. So I went to look for her. She wasn't there. I asked him where he's last seen her. She storm is loud and very close at this point. And this time when I ask him he says, "I don't know. I haven't seen her, she's probably under the couch." I check under the couch again. And tell him she's not there. And he just shrugs and says, "She's a cat, I'm sure she's fine." I see red and scream at him, "Where is my fucking cat?" And then before he can answer, I run upstairs to search for her. Admittedly as was very dramatic after that. The storm was horrible. I dragged her out from under my bed. Pretty much near missing a massive branch that broke off and broke two of our windows and said bedroom. And brought her downstairs where I did not speak to him for the rest of the night. We have since had the windows fixed. It's been very awkward since then. But I'm just as angry as him because I feel like he risked my cat's life just because he doesn't like her. I'm trying hard to forgive him so I can start a conversation about this, but I feel very wronged. My brother does not like my husband, and thinks he's being dramatic, but my mother does like him, but on this agrees that he was in the wrong. My husband still won't speak to me. How do I start a conversation about this, when I feel like he's so much in the wrong? So did he actually know where the cat was or not? Some of these comments are weird. I'm admittedly a dog person, and allergic to cats to boot. But if my husband had any kind of pet, I'd be helping him find them after securing my dog, or at the very least not assuming they're safe and lying that I'd seen them somewhere. It might help to write a letter outlining your feelings about the situation. I'd focus on why you were so upset during the storm, because you were scared for your cat, and why you were upset afterward, because you felt like lied about where she was and didn't help you look. I would be very upset with my husband too. Because he either straight up lied to you about knowing your cat was downstairs, or if he thought maybe the cat could be downstairs but didn't really know. That's still very dismissive of your feelings and your cat who you care about. So yeah, that was shitty of him. I think it's understandable you had an emotional reaction to it. He doesn't give a fuck about your cat and he's a child who refuses to talk to you about it. Your marriage is broken. If my partner lied and put my kitty in danger, I would not be able to look at him the same way after that. Major breach of reliability. Wife, F29, tells me I, M30, am selfish and autistic. Yesterday I finished working at my job and got in the car to drive home and my wife calls me. She said she had a horrible day at work and wants to eat McDonald's tonight. I told her that I already had McDonald's 2 days ago and rather want to eat something else. I then offered her to get her McDonald's and that I would go to the grocery store to buy something else to eat. This absolutely enraged her. How could I say something like that? She starts crying and says that she doesn't want to smell other food than McDonald's that night. I repeated that I can get her food and I can get something else, and that it is absolutely no problem for me. She got mad again and hung up the phone. I felt bad, so I thought that I can better eat McDonald's again even though I don't want it. So I call her and say that I can get McDonald's for us both if that's what she wants. Apparently, because I said, "Because that's what you want," she got super angry again and screamed at me to not get anything and that she will cook. I offered multiple times to get the food for her, but it only made her more angry. When I came home she was crying and cooking and screaming at me that I should not come near her. I offered to cook the food instead of her but she screamed at me no. So I just sat on the couch feeling really bad. She comes to me multiple times screaming how horrible I am. She tells me I'm autistic and the most selfish person there is. That the only thing she needed after work was me saying yes to her request. She keeps screaming at me that she will go to her parents if I don't acknowledge her feelings. With the addition that this is not a threat lol. I just sat there frozen waiting for it to be over. The only thing to make it stop was to say that she was right, and eventually I did that. How could I have handled the situation better? Are these signs of a selfish and autistic person? I'm tired of your wife and I don't even know her. This is abuse. You don't deserve it. She is controlling you and relying on you pleasing her. She got mad and started crying and said she doesn't want to smell other food that isn't McDonald's tonight. How does this woman function as an adult? How do you make it through your day when things like this upset you? This is unhinged. Your wife is not reasonable or acting like a mentally healthy adult over the situation. Is this normal behavior from her? Frankly, the only thing that makes me think you might be autistic is that you see her acting incredibly irrationally and blaming you for her own absurdity, and you actually take her at face value instead of recognizing that she's the one being out of line and you aren't responsible for handling this situation better. That said, since you are married to her, any of the following might have gone over better. That sounds awful. Do you want to tell me about your day? Sure. I'll grab you some McDonald's. What do you want? From what you've recounted of her unhinged response, she didn't have the space to give a fuck about the details of what you wanted for dinner and wanted a simple, "Sure, babe," and someone to listen while she vented.